This is book 3 of the Psalms, and these first two cutaways are Psalms of Asaph, ends on 83. Then this panel here is Korah, with the Korah, David Korah thing, and then you've got this maskil of Ethan the Ezrahite ending out book 3 with another covenantal psalm. So 72, remember, was of Solomon, and this one here is this anguished cry asking what is going on with the covenant, basically, the Davidic covenant in particular. Psalm 73 is kind of a wisdom psalm. Some people think that you could even see a personification of Israel asking about the other nations, but then 74 immediately gets into this, they set your sanctuary on fire, direct your steps to the perpetual ruins, and he has destroyed everything in the sanctuary. So pretty clear reference to the destruction of the temple. How long, O Lord, is the foe to scoff? You get that answer, by the way, in Psalm 75, or at the set time that I appoint, I will judge with equity. So that's the answer right after Psalm 74. Psalm 75 says, now we will judge. And basically, you see that play out in these next Psalms. So at the set time that I appoint, I will judge with equity. This next Psalm is also about it. But you are Lord to be feared. And then Psalm 77, the perspective changes from I cry out, you hold my eyelids open, all these sort of I sort of things, to you, your way. So I said, I will appeal to this. And then it says, your way, O God, is holy. So that's kind of a good way of moving in prayer, to seeing your own small perspective. Psalm 78 is like this central psalm in the book 3. And I mean, actually, the book of Asaph. So the Asaph collection, if you say the Asaph collection, you know exactly what we're talking about, because Psalm 50 kind of stands on its own. So there's not like two collections. And Psalm 78 is the central psalm in the Asaph collection. And its repeated refrain is, yet they send. In spite of all this, they send. You can find that again up here. In spite of all this, they send. Down here it happens again. Yet detested and rebelled against the Most High. So this basically recounts God's. So if you look at what is the middle part of it, it's verses 30 and 39. Yet he, being compassionate, atoned for their iniquity and did not destroy them. He restrained his anger. Often he remembered that they were but flesh, a wind that passes and comes not again. So it's God's continued mercy despite Israel's continued sin, and that is a narration of their history. And then you get the destruction of the temple again. So Asaph does this first in Psalm 74, and now again in Psalm 79. They've defiled your holy temple. They have laid Jerusalem in ruins. How long, O Lord, will your jealousy burn like fire? So this is a cry for help. Help us, O God. Same sort of thing down here is a plea for restoration. Restore us, O God. Turn again. You even get this little metaphor of Israel, the vine, and then it says, you cleared the ground for it, but then it said, why have you broken down its walls so that all who pass along the way pluck its fruit? Okay, so this is either in exile or right before exile. Then in response, in Psalm 82, God judges the heavens that are arrayed against him. So God has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of the gods, he holds judgment. And then the nations that they control, Psalm 83. So I said, you are gods, the sons of the Most High, all of you. And then don't keep in silence. Do to them as you did to Midian. Let us take possession of ourselves, of the pastures of God. I think the way that every psalm translates this is like, as the corpses fertilize the ground or something like that. So maybe there's some translation differences there. All right, then you move into the Korahite collection, the last one of these, and Psalm 84 is just a lovely psalm. I've heard so many versions of this one, and this is the one that talks about blessed are those who strengthen you and whose heart are the highways to Zion. And the NIV translates that their hearts are on a pilgrimage. I think NIV in 84 was like, I set my heart on a pilgrimage, and they go through the valley of weeping, the valley of Baca. So you get this sort of sojourning perspective here. Behold our shield, our God. Look on the face of your anointed. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God. For the Lord is a sun and a shield. Very famous psalm here. Then you've got Psalm 85. This is another very important psalm. So it appeals to the Lord's attributes. It says this is the one where steadfast love and faithfulness meet, righteousness and peace kiss each other. Up here you have substitutionary atonement. You forgave the iniquity of your people. That has the connotation of bore the iniquity of your people. Restore us again, O God of our salvation, and put away your indignation toward us. So that's a removal of his wrath. Give us your salvation, clearly associated with these things. Okay, then Psalm 86. It has this little thing here. All the nations you have made shall come and worship before you, O Lord. It shall glorify your name. That anticipates the next psalm, which we'll talk about, where all of these foreign nations, peoples were born in Zion. And then you get this interesting verse 13 of chapter 86. For gracious your steadfast love toward me, you have delivered my soul from the depths of Sheol. Does that anticipate a bodily resurrection? He's even potentially even talking about it, right? Directly. Okay, then Psalm 87. On the holy mountain stands the city he founded. The Lord loves the gates of Zion more than all the dwelling places of Jacob. So, and then you've got glorious things of you are spoken, a city of God. That's a pretty famous hymn. And then right here is again the development of the Zion theology. And then among those who know me, I mentioned Rahab and Babylon, and behold, Philistia and Tyre and Cush. This one was born there, they say, and of Zion it should be said, this one and that one were born in her. So it's likely that he's talking about people from these other places were born in Zion. So how does that work, right? Okay. Then you've got Psalm 88, which is the darkest of them all. So Psalm 88 doesn't have any like high points. There's kind of one like right here, but O Lord, to your cry in the morning, my prayer comes before you, but then it's immediately, why do you cast my soul away? Psalm 88 is the darkest one, and book 8 in general book 3 in general is just the darkest book of the Psalter, and it ends in Psalm 89, this maskil of Ethan the Ezrahite. And notice here it explicitly says, I've made a covenant with my chosen one, I've sworn to David my servant. So clearly called a covenant here, even though in 2 Samuel chapter 7 the word covenant doesn't appear, it pretty clearly is a covenant. He talks about these wonderful things that God has done of old, which, by the way, most of book 3 recounts remembrance of God's ways is a big part of book 3. But then at the end it says, but now you have cast off and rejected. You are full of wrath against your anointed. You have renounced the covenant with your servant. You have defiled his crown in the dust. You have breached all his walls. You've cast his throne to the ground. How long, O Lord, will you hide yourself forever? Where is your steadfast love of old, right? And then you get this little doxological conclusion here. But it ends on this big question about what is to be made of the Davidic covenant. We'll go back to book 4 here in a second, but you can see clearly there is it ends on a cliffhanger, right? And then it's answered in book 4 and 5.